Hello everybody, good day to you, welcome back. Check out this bad unit right here. This is a 2013 Toyota FJ Cruiser lifted, 4-wheel drive. Super nice, kind of like a Jeep, but kind of like a Toyota, a little bit different. This thing has approximately, I think it's 138 and 37 miles on the odometer. The customer states that water starts to pool up on the passenger side floorboard while driving, and yeah, I can see some water down there right now. Yep, okie dokes. Let's swing this thing into the shop, take a look at what's going on with this water issue, and then we'll go from there. So stay tuned, because this is going to be a very good video. Happening Z hood. Let's go ahead and nose this bad boy in real quick, like, huh? We're not going to put it on the lift just yet. I'm probably going to service it, oil changes and whatnot like that, but I need to get into the passenger side to see what the deal is with this water. So I imagine that's AC water, so let's go ahead and fire up the climate control, recirculate, let's make as much cold as possible, and then we're going to go down below, look for some drips. Pretty sick looking front end, I like this. Kind of stylish. What do we have here? Looks like 4 liters of Toyota V6 power. Very nice. Red top optimal battery. Oh, that's interesting. We've got some auxiliary action going on here, probably for the lights and whatnot. I like these top and side post batteries. They're awesome for cars that require a side post, and then you get the version that's also a top post and you put accessories on it. I think that's pretty cool. Okay. Looking good down here so far. Okie dokes. Coming around to the passenger side. Let's see. I don't see any water on the door seal. Okay, so we can definitely see some water pooled up here on the mat. We've got a run coming down right here and some splashing. So I'm assuming we've got a drip going on. Yes, we do. Looky up here. There's some water. Looks like it's running out of the bottom of the HVAC box, and you can see it's on the blower motor resistor. Let's see where that drip's coming from, though. It's a tight squeeze in here. Bear with me. I'm trying to get inside. Yeah, it's looking like, yeah, right around the bottom of that blower motor, perhaps. Okay. Oh, yeah, I can see water. I can see it inside through the plastic on that resistor. That resistor is swimming in water right now. That's interesting. Let's shut this down and unplug some stuff and see if we can't get that water to drain out. See what's going on with it. Let's see. Look at here. Yep, there's a whole bunch more water. All right, let's get this out of here for now. Stay there. So looking a little farther back, you can see, I'll show you where we're looking to. Center console. Looking farther back, we can see that looks like the drain tube right there, that black tube coming through. And just below that, we're also seeing some water drip. So I'm betting that drain tube back there is clogged and it cannot drain water out onto the ground. That's all condensed water. It's not draining out through its actual drain, and it's pooling up inside and flooding the vehicle. So this actually might be a really easy fix. Let's see what I can do about this. Okay, one thing I do need to do is soak up some of that water, because if I don't, inevitably it's going to end up on my shirt sleeve and in my armpit, and I don't want to do that. It's just not going to be fun. So let's throw some absorbent mats on there. We don't have to throw these away when we're done, because this is just water, and I can just let it dry and then reuse those for oil later. They're like really good paper towels. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and see if I can't pull some of this floor material back. It's stapled on, but no, it's Velcroed on, never mind. Yeah, we can see that drain. See the drain hose right there running down? Let's keep pulling this back, and maybe I can get a hold of, I'm gonna have to pull a lot of this apart. I'm gonna try to unplug that hose from the firewall. We'll unplug it over here and see if we can't blow the thing out and get this drain to start to flow. I'm probably gonna go ahead and remove that blower resistor. It's probably rusted or becoming rusted, and it may or may not cause some damage, so I'm a little concerned about that. I need to get this kick panel out of the way because this plastic mat here is captured by the kick panel. So let's try to pull this guy out of here. I think I've got to pull everything up. Yep, including the floor panel sill thing, door sill. Yeah, come on, door sill panel thing. Become disconnected. There we go. Okay, we'll set that aside over here and try to wiggle this. There we go. Pull that panel off. Save this for later. You go right here so you don't get lost. Okay, yep, there's the exit right there for the this drain hose. Let's try to pull this guy out. This is definitely has a restriction in it. All right, so what I'll do, we'll pull this out right here. Come on, there we go. I really don't want to pull it out just yet. It's gonna spill all that water, but it is what it is. I gotta do what I gotta do. I don't want to blow this back upwards into that box because any restriction that shows up in there, it'll just make its way back into the tube and then re-clog. So I really want to take this off in order to clean it out. Ooh, I know. I can maybe try to find a cap to put over that little nipple thing over there and keep the water in until I clear the hose. Good idea. Okay, so here's how I'm gonna attempt to accomplish this. I'm gonna go in, we're gonna pull this hose off, and that's probably gonna drain water everywhere, which I don't want to spill and fill this thing full of water. So I'm gonna attempt to stick a plug into that hole and arrest the flow, so to speak, until until I clear this hose. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I'm gonna try it. Oh, that water is so cold. Ah, it's not working. I'm spilling water everywhere. Yeah, get in there. Okay, sorry y'all couldn't see, but I've got the little hole plugged up. We did get a bunch of water flowing out of here. Let's go blow some air through this tube right here and see what kind of nasty comes out of it. I'm pretty sure it's full of like moldy, clogged up, whatever nonsense. Yeah, where's my air hose? Over yonder. Butamus. All right, let's fetch the air line here, and we're gonna blow this out and see what kind of nasty sprays out of the end of it. All right, here we go. So we've got the business end going in. I'll seal it with my hand. Whoa, see that? Whatever that was, we cleared it. All right, well that was easy. The hose is now clear. Like I said, I didn't want to spray this that way up into the box because then the obstruction would have just re-obstructed the hose and then the problem would not have been solved, and that's not cool. Ooh, more leakages are going on here. Oh, my little cap came off. That's too bad. All right. Well, that's unfortunate. Not really a problem though, because this floor is made of rubber and I have a shop vac also, so I can probably just clean up some of this mess. Very important we put the hose back through the firewall so it drains outside and not inside. I know that seems obvious, but you know, things happen. Mistakes are made. Folks forget things, especially me. Let's clip that back in where it goes, please. All right, hose is connected. I'm gonna turn the AC back on to full blast. Actually, before I do that, I want to pull that blower resistor out of there and make sure that that thing is gonna survive. What do we need there? A Phillips screwdriver, I think. Yeah. Yep. Be right back. Actually, I'm gonna need the shop vac right now. Oddly enough, it's in use today. Wife unit's using it to clean Cheerios. Hang on. Watch this. Watch it. You broke it. Can I borrow this real quick?
The what?
The vacuum, yeah.
Sure.
I actually need it like the once in a year I need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I borrow it? Thank you, darling. Thank you. Appreciate it. Wait, what'd you break?
I think I broke it.
What, the vacuum? Don't break my vacuum. Shot back, powering on. Goodbye, water. Oh, I just sucked up a nickel. This is a really loud video, you guys. I'm sorry, there's noise everywhere. There's grinders and compressors and vacuums and me. Very loud video today. Sorry about that. All right, shot back, powering down. Here you go. I have your vacuum. Thank you. Now for that blower resistor, we're gonna use this, and we need a Phillips bit. See that right there? Yep. Yeah, I think this ratcheting bit driver should make that a little easier because I can't really fit a screwdriver into that space there. Let's see. Oh, my floor mat is wet. Okay, going back in. All right, so what I'm doing, in here laying on my side, I'm just gonna pull these two screws out, and we're gonna drop this resistor / speed controller unit out and inspect it for damage. Like we can see, there's a little bit of like rust kind of running out of it, so I imagine there's some corrosion in there, and I want to inspect that again to make sure this thing doesn't have a failure pretty soon. It would be unfortunate if the fan did not work when it's like 1 billion Florida degrees outside and these folks don't have any AC. So we're kind of forward thinking on this one. Yeah. All right, that's one screw. Let me get this little second one out of here. Come on. Live my life a quarter turn at a time. And yeah, I stole that one from Vin Diesel.
I live my life a quarter at a time.
All right, come on out. Oh no. Yeah, that's not looking too healthy. Check that out. Yeah, it's pretty crusty, very rusty. I wonder if it still functions. Let me reach up and grab this fan switch here. Yeah, we've got medium. Yeah, it's still working. All the functions operate, but I can't imagine for how much longer. Yeah, as soon as that corrosion gets too deep, it might put too much resistance in this or run it open circuit even. Yeah, regardless, I'm going to recommend we replace this. I have solved their initial concern. I'm about 900% confident that that drain is draining. In fact, let's go down below and take a leak. A leak? Let's go take a look and see if water is coming out of that drain over there. That was like a unintended pun. Yeah, here we go. We see it running down the frame. That's coming straight from the drain pipe. Oh, and we can see it through the fender well. That's good. Let's go over here and take another look. Yep, there's our drain. She is draining. Problem solved. All right, let me go ahead and run inside. I'm gonna quote this fella a replacement resistor unit, see what we're gonna do, and then we'll go from there. Be right back. Alrighty, well, here's the deal with that resistor device over there. The closest unit available to me is located in New Brunswick, New Jersey. So I'm not gonna be able to get that thing today. So what I'm going to do is put this unit back into its, ow, that's hot. I'm gonna put this thing back into its home up here, and it'll go back in, and I'll get the thing ordered, and I can replace this at a later date. So let's slide this thing back up into its little notch there, and we'll get her screwed back in. There we go, resistor click. Fortunately, that unit is still working, which is good, because again, I'd hate for this car to be out of air conditioning for several days over a clogged drain. That'd be unfortunate. So let me screw this guy back in, and then we're gonna go ahead and continue with our service on this vehicle here. All right, there we go. Okay, this guy's tight. The other bolt is also tight. Screw, bolt, screw, same difference. That one's tight. Let's go ahead and throw our panels and stuff back on, and we'll get out of here. Slide that guy right in. Line that up, line this up, give it a push. We're clicked in. Got our little plastic bolt thing. Thread that guy back on. There we go. And our door sill needs to go on next. Door sill clicks. Good to go. All right, get our towels out of here. And floor mat going back in. Found a dime. Alrighty, let's get out of here. Okie doke, so the other complaint on this FJ is that it does not go into four-wheel drive, or maybe the rear differential does not go into full lock. There's an electronic actuator motor on the rear differential, and it's supposed to run a slider inside that actually locks the diff in position, and it's an automatic unit. Some of the older ones had a diff lock button, but I believe this newer FJ does that automatically. So what we're going to do is, let's see if we can get this thing to go into four-wheel drive. So what I'll do is we'll creeper forward, reverse, that's too high. Everything's acting like normal. So back to neutral. Let's go over here into low range. Now I don't have an indicator here that says I'm in 4 low. It should be like right around here somewhere, but it's not indicating. However, the track is off, and the well, it's got 2 warnings for track control. So it tells me it did select into 4-wheel drive. Let's go ahead, put it in gear. Oh yeah, it lurched a little bit, so it is in low range. So it did go into low, but I don't know if it's in 4 low. It could just be in low, and the low gear is only going to the rear wheels. So let's determine if we get front wheel drive action when it's selected in 4-wheel drive, and then we can determine if the rear diff locker is actually locking, because I'm not sure which one of those is the issue. Again, I'm supposed to have a light here, and it's not here. So what we're gonna do, let me back up a little bit and move over some. I need to get centered on the rack. We will set this thing up on the rack and operate 4-wheel drive with the wheels off the ground, and we'll see if the front wheels engage or not. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. See a little bit further, a little farther, a little farther, a little farther. And it's a little too far, backing up some, right there, that's good. Parking the auto. We'll leave it running because we're coming right back in. Let's set the rack up. Kick that one in, kick that one in. Good enough. Let's see, this side looking good. That side's looking good. The rack is set. Up we go. Moving on up. Okay, that's off the ground enough. Let us check for 4-wheel drive action. Let's see, we could probably just do this from right out here, I think. Sure. So what we'll do, it's already selected in 4 low, so all I need to do is reach the brake pedal, and we'll come over here and shift it. Bear with me, guys. Okay, there's our drive position. Letting off the brakes. Oh, look at there. No front end action. So let's see if the rear locker is engaging, the electronic locker, and it is not. So what's going on here is when we manually place that transfer case into 4 low, it's selecting low range at its output, but it's not engaging the locker on the rear differential, and it's not engaging the front drive shaft from the transfer case. That's what's going on. And we can tell that the rear locker is not locking because we've got wheel spin here and minimal wheel spin over here. So let's go check out the fronts. Yeah, I can hold this still. I shouldn't be able to do that. Okay. Here, let's go all the way up and walk down there so we can get a better view. Moving on up. Alrighty, headed out back. So here's our drive shaft, U-joints. There's our differential. And this unit here is the actuator that's supposed to run the slider inside to lock both axles in. And we can see it has not actuated. So coming around to this side, taking a look. Wiring looks good, connectors look good. Okay, let's check out our fronts. Ah, interesting twist of events. Looky here. Our front drive shaft is engaged, but neither of the fronts are rotating with the drive shaft. So that tells me that it's not being actuated with its actuator up here in the front axle. Now, that's not okay. So at this point, I don't think that it's got a failed actuator. It would have to have two failed actuators in order to get this thing to function. So I'm wondering if perhaps we have an issue with one of the switches up on the transfer case that are supposed to communicate what gear position you're in to the controller that then actuates these actuators. Let me run inside and pull up service data real quick, and we will see what the wiring diagram tells us. Words. But first, let's let this thing down some. Now, there is one very, very important thing to remember. I must not set this truck all the way down when I bring it down, because it's in gear, and if I take it off the lift and the wheels touch the ground, it's going to drive away, and that would be, oh, that'd be bad. We don't want to do that. There we go. That's down enough. Nice and safe like. Okay, next thing we're not going to do is we're not just going to throw this thing in park, because again, that's how we ruin stuff. But what we can do is go ahead and hit our brake pedal. There we go. Everybody stopped. Now I can come on over here and ship this guy into park. There we go. And again, we still have no actuator. I wonder if I can talk to the four-wheel drive module with my scan tool. Let me go fetch that real quick. All right, multimeter coming in. We'll set this guy right here. There's our fuse panel. Let's fire that thing up to voltage, and I'm gonna go ahead and attach the negative lead to an alligator clip lead, and then I'm gonna hook that to a good chassis ground, probably one of the bolts under the dash. Now the question's gonna be, which one? Let's clip it to this one right here. Okay, I think that's a good ground right there. Very good. See it right back there. And I'll just check it. We'll turn the alarm on for continuity, and we'll check it like right here. And we're good. We have continuity to ground. So that tells us that our ground source up here is a good ground. Let's go back to voltage, and let's go ahead and check our fuses. Again, we're looking for 3 fuses. One of them is four-wheel drive, ignition on, and the other one is the gauge fuse. So according to our little chart here, here's our four-wheel drive fuse. That's the one on the end. That's a 20 amp. And we've got power on one leg, power on the other leg. That fuse is good. Let's check our gauge fuse. That's our next one over. We are powered and powered. Okay, and of course the ignition 1 fuse. Where's ignition 1? Ignition 1 right here, 15 amp. So we have power and we have power. Okay, so we know we have power at the fuses. Let's check for powers and grounds at the module under this side of the dash. There's one module here and one module over there. We'll start with this side. Just like the other side when we did the water thing, let's go ahead and pull our paneling up, because that thing I'm certain is buried up under there somewhere. So we do that thing. Unclip you. There we go. What is this? Let me take some of these panels off real quick, and we're gonna dive into this. Alrighty, well, with the panels off, we're looking pretty rat's nesty. There's a lot of wires connected for some aftermarket goodies in here. I don't even know what half this stuff does, but anyway, I've got that module pulled back from the firewall, and I don't know if even if we can see, there's not much space left to get some probes in here to test this. So I think what I'll do is disconnect this module and I'm gonna try to reroute that connector down. I wanna check for power and ground at the wiring harness connector for this this four-wheel drive module right here. Let me get that unconnected and we'll start probing. Yeah, tell you what, these under dash videos are hard. Unclick, that's our module there. And I'm gonna run, see if I can't pull this harness back a little bit, the connector, excuse me, the connector back so we have an easier time probing it. Okay, so we've got the back of our connector. Let's check this thing for powers and grounds and make sure it has everything that it needs in order to operate. Okay guys, I have bad news and I have good news. The bad news is I lost some files. I guess my SD card was corrupted. But the good news is I didn't find anything wrong with the power and ground supplies to either of the two four-wheel drive control modules. So you didn't miss much. Yeah, now the part that you didn't see was me fiddling around way back and way up here trying to get that module unbolted from the firewall. Because that's hard to do and that thing's far away. Over here laying on my back. Yeah, this thing's way up there. Look at that. If I can get that bolt started, I can tighten this little thing down. I think it's in. Yep. Yeah, you see that little module way up there. She's far away. Let's see here. Get in there with some power tool click action. Make that thing tight. Come on. Come on, wobbly bit. Don't fail me now. Oh no, my wobbler is all sideways. That's not good. Come on. Aha, there we go. Slow speed clickages. Alright, let's get this thing out of here. Alright, that stuff's all back where it goes. Module's bolted back on. Hooray. Now I've got to get the rest of these dash panels back together. Let's get out of here. See here, we've got this, got a steel panel that bolts on right up over here. Right there, right there. It's gonna go like so. We need this here to hold all the wires in. Gravity. Steel panel gravity. That's a new one. Never underestimate my original gravity declarations. I don't like this Toyota. It is not my friend. Clicks. Twice. Thrice clicks. Quattro clicks. Come on, get in there. There we go. All right. It's our hood release button. Put that guy back. Slip this thing up into place. Right here. Up and over the key on the right. And it should just clip right into position. Right there. Good. So I've been kind of focusing on that rear locker module, and it is not it's not sending any command out to the limit switch and to the motor and the rear differential. Now the issue is I've got all of my inputs here. I've got my powers and grounds, but it's obviously not being told when to click that relay on and when to go ahead and run the locker. And I'm kind of looking at where it gets its cue from, and it's got a series of switches on here. There's, I think, 3 on the transfer case. There's a neutral position switch, there's a 4-high position switch, and then I think there's another one. Where's that other position switch at? Yeah, neutral right there. This one here, that one's the four-wheel drive. So when you're in 4 low or 4 high, it's got qualifying switches that allow these modules to kick into place. What I believe might be going on here is there's an issue with the actuator up on the front axle, and that problem with the actuator, maybe there's water in it or there's an open circuit, the limit switch is broken, motor's burnt out, who knows. I think there's an issue here, mostly due to process of elimination, because I know I have all my powers and grounds everywhere, and I know that all of my switches are functioning like they should be, because I've actually pulled them off and then checked them with a meter while operating the levers. So all my switches work, my powers and grounds work, my fuses work, but I'm not getting authorization from the front actuator, and that's causing my rear actuator to not actuate the locker in the rear. So what I think I need to do is get this up in the air again, and let's inspect that front actuator. Maybe I can pull the cover off of it and see if it's got like water intrusion or some kind of rust or damage on the inside. Okay, so let's run the shifter real quick. We're gonna go, that's 4 high, nothing happening. We move over, we're checking our trans in park switch, that one's working. And the 4-wheel drive indicator switch is also working, because we know it's turning off track control. So the 4 low switch is on, 4 high switch is on, but, or I'm sorry, the trans and park switch is on, but the 4 high switch, the first qualifying switch, is not indicating. Now I can show you at the bottom when we lift this thing back up, but I've already, again, checked all of those switches, all 3 of them with a meter, and those switches are functioning as they're supposed to. So we don't have a switching problem, we have a problem with that signal passing through the modules in order to allow the rest of the system to function. So when I select 4 high, we're down in 4-wheel drive, we've got a ground right here at our switch. This is a open or closed switch. This is supposed to ground this switch out, which then tells this module that we're asking for 4-wheel drive. Now the issue is once this first switch is actuated, we're not getting an indicator lamp. It is supposed to trigger the indicator lamp in the gauge cluster, and that lamp is not triggered. Once it indicates on the cluster that it's supposed to be operating, that's when the actuator is supposed to come into play, which is then going to authorize the rear actuator to come into play. And this is where our activity is not taking place. I can hear and measure the relay closing, but it only sends power for a brief moment to the front actuator motor. There's an issue with the actuator assembly on the front differential, because this is where all of my ground signal, which actuates the rest of the system, comes into play, and that's what's not occurring here. So let's get this up in the air, take a look at that front axle, and we'll see if we can't get a hold of that actuator and pull that thing out, or at least pop the cover off and look inside. So we don't have a confirmed kill just yet, but I've pretty much eliminated everything in the system with the exception of the actuators. And I know that it's not the rear, well, I don't know, but I don't think it's the rear actuator just yet, because the rear actuator gets its cue from the front actuator. So we need to focus on the front actuator. Should be fairly easy. I checked the book time on removing and replacing that actuator, and it called for like 1.2 hours. So I'm pretty sure I can get in there. Let's get her up in the air and take a peek. We'll take a looky-loo, a look-see, a visual inspection. So yeah, again, there's our rear, but our rear won't function until our front tells it to. So, oh yeah, I forgot the switch is up here on the back of the trans. You see them? That guy right there. They are. Hang on, let's zoom it. It's not going to get in there. You see the little green wire coming out, and then the one like right next to it on the left. Those are 2 of our position switches. They're just an on-off switch. And we've got one more, that little blue guy right there. I think that one is the trans in park switch. And then the other 2 are the 4 high and 4 low switches. Anyway, moving on up. Here's our actuator on the front axle. Uh-oh. Hang on, fail. This isn't cool. So there's an actuator motor in here, and there's some shift forks, and they run some levers inside of the diff, and as those forks move left to right, it engages this differential, locks it in. Once it's locked in, or once it's actuated, it then relays the command back to the rear module, and then the rear module will lock in the rear actuator. I have a problem here. This thing is well armored. Look, I need to get that from the front side. You see the bolts right here, 1, 2, and then 2 more on the top. I need to get that from the front, but I can't. There's a giant piece of metal in the way. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. That's not okay. I'm gonna have to... It's not easy anymore. I'm either gonna have to unbolt this differential and pull it like way back to get to the front of that, or actually remove this front section of this lift kit. Yeah, because I need to get in there. That whole unit comes out this way. Nah. All right. Well, that changes things. I'm kind of dead in the water. I don't have authorization to do that kind of work. This is not 1.2 hours anymore. This is several. That's not what I wanted to do. Come on, Fab Tech, you killed me. Really? Yeah, I'm gonna have to unbolt this differential or something and either unbolt the axles and pull those out, unbolt this and slide the whole unit back, or bring it out and down or something. I can't even begin to get to that unit. Not with this piece of armor in the way. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board on this one, guys. I'm dead in the water. All right, well, I've still got an oil change to do on this, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish that. I need to go and let my guy know what's going on with this. This sort of changes everything now. I can no longer proceed. I cannot diagnose this accurately at this time, but we'll see. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and end this one right now. This is as far as I can go. Wah, wah, wah. Rather disappointing. So that being said, I guess thank you guys for watching this video. I understand it's this diag just fell flat on its face. Didn't mean for that to happen, but yeah, things happen, especially around here. I think Murphy's Law has started to affect me a little bit in recent times. Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. I'll let you know if there's going to be a part 2. I really hope I get to diagnose this because I'm not too familiar with these Yodas and I'd like to learn a little bit. But we'll see what's going to happen next. So again, and as always, thank you for watching this video. And most importantly, do not forget to have yourselves a great day. See you guys later. End of transmission, end of Toyota for now.